school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasa.org. That's nmfasa.org.
If you're drunk,
Classic, intoxicated,
rip, plaster, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfasa.org. That's nmfasa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Well, it's gone from entertaining and weird to just flat out bonkers. I mean, every week, every game, what the hell are you watching sometimes? But yet you can't stop watching, right? It's bonkers. Lobos have a new athletic director. Lobo basketball wins. Aggies won. And what a weekend in the NFL. I mean, just Saturday, the Saturday night window was silly. The Saturday college football was insane. That's what happens. And I told you, man, I told you, we can look at all these playoff projections and everything. Every year, the last 3 weeks of college football, when you hit November, stuff happens that you just don't see coming. It just comes out of nowhere, and teams that like Oklahoma beat Alabama or Arizona State or Auburn, for crying out loud. And everything gets turned upside down. Good morning to you. Merry Monday. It's the opening drive. Thank you for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living? You all right back there? Good weekend? All right.
Yes, doing good.
All right. You had a good game yesterday. JJ called Lobo women's basketball against Gonzaga, 81-68. Gonzaga pulled away late in the pit to spread that game out. Game was closer than the score says. And then last night, 99-68. Lobos were sitting on 99. I thought everybody was sure they were going over 100 for about, 3 minutes. But 99-68. New Mexico beats Texas Southern in the pit. And next up, they'll go to Palm Springs, and Arizona State's sitting on the horizon. So that was it. I don't know what your thoughts are. The football this weekend, from the way the Cowboy game ended, which was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen, on top of like crazy thing. The way that Minnesota Bears game got to overtime and compiled on top of what I saw all day Saturday. I don't want to say the most bizarre weekend ever, because I think that's quite a statement, But holy smokes, man. Just out of nowhere, like you don't know where it's coming from, and something crazy's going on. You got to go over to this channel. You got to watch this game.
Sports.
Yeah.
That's why we love it.
Yeah.
That's why live sports matter. And what you saw this weekend is why, especially in the NFL, we agonize on Friday mornings about point spreads. And you think, oh, this team's going to blow this team out of the water. And it doesn't work that way.
Oh, you agonize over. I had Jacobs and then watched Barkley come back and stick it to me last night. I mean, I didn't need it. I didn't need
Just
him.
ram it, baby.
I didn't need that last one. I just didn't need the last one, you know?
Oh, Barkley sure did.
I mean.
Second, 70 yards. No one wants to tackle me. This is fantastic.
What the hell are we doing? Rams aren't very good. Nor is that division. All right. So here's what we're going to do today. 8 o'clock this morning, we are scheduled for you to meet Fernando Lovo, the newly minted athletic director at the University of New Mexico. He is scheduled to join us coming up. That'll be at 8 o'clock this morning. A 36-year-old senior associate athletic director in charge of operations over at the University of Texas. Worked very closely with a native New Mexican who is the athletic director at UT, Chris Del Conte. From what I understand, certainly was supporting Fernando Lovo and was vocal about getting his guy a look and got him the job. So a young man gets his first athletic director job at a critical time at the University of New Mexico. And we'll talk to him and what are his priorities and how did he get this job? Why does he want this job? And where does it go? I know, so many of you had a horse in the race, a favorite in the race, whatever it is that, you want to say. There were three incumbents, three internal people who wanted the job, two of whom got interviews, and one was acting as the interim athletic director, and none of them got it. They went outside with Fernando Lovo. When you heard it yesterday, I'm not going to tell you I was surprised. I did not know much about, nor do I at this point know much about Fernando Lovo. Looking forward to meeting him, talking to him this morning. But were you surprised they went external and with an individual who has not been an athletic director before?
I think that will surprise some people, someone that was an athletic director. But when you look at his background, you know what this hire is all about. Football, baby. Football, football, football. How do you make football consistent? How do you find a lasting impact with the football program? And then how do you build a relationship with Bronco Mendenhall? Keep him interested in UNM and the Mountain West Conference moving forward. So
when Eddie Nunez got here, he had not been an athletic director either, right? He was a deputy at LSU before he got here. He had not been, and I think most of you think he did a pretty good job. And so Fernando has not been an athletic director either. Football background, he's worked with Tom Herman and he's worked with Urban Meyer, and he's worked at Texas, obviously, where football is king and football has been good. And so I hear a bunch of you saying, whoa, what about basketball? What about basketball? And I think that's fair. And I think we'll talk to him about that, but I think he realizes what he's getting into, what the fan base here feels about basketball, how much they care about basketball, how much that program is to this state. And I've told you for as long as I've been spitting into a microphone that you can be both. And I know a lot of you fought back on me and still are saying, we're never going to be a football school. And some of you have even suggested, just go through the motions and be horrible at football, and somehow that's going to be good for basketball, which I still don't understand. I don't think he's going to neglect basketball. And, I look at places, Alabama was a football school that's become pretty damn good at basketball, right? Texas.
It's about resources.
It is. And so
you need football to get you as much resources as possible.
Football is where the resources, the majority of them come from, yeah. So we'll see. But if you got anything you want me to ask him, you can send me a text, Jeff, at 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animals text line. And our phone line, and emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. You can watch the show as well. Adrian's producing. We're on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday today, and Adrian will have it over on ProView Networks, Xfinity, Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico and on our Facebook page. the OD in the AM. Your comments are welcome, encouraged on the new athletic director, Fernando Lobo. And again, we'll meet him at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock this morning, Bronco Mendenhall scheduled to be with us for his weekly appearance here. And we will talk with him about the bye week and the plans to go to Hawaii, how they are health-wise, and where the focus is, because obviously there's still a prize now sitting there at the end of this thing. And if they can win on Saturday in Hawaii, then they will be bowl eligible and be back in the postseason for the first time since, I believe, 2016, right? So it would be 8 years, which has been a hell of a long drought. All right, JJ, of everything that happened this weekend, I don't know if you watched the end of the Auburn Texas A&M. Did you watch Auburn A&M?
My goodness.
That was the 4 overtime game
Yes,
that
it was.
ended on a 2-point conversion that hit a man in the chest that should have gone to 5. The 2-point conversion, like if it was an arrow, it would have killed him, right? I mean, it like
That's always one of my favorite descriptions.
right? Am I wrong though?
It was an arrow.
If it was an arrow, it would have
Sure
killed
glad
him.
it was a football, though.
It hit him in the chest. That's how A&M lost in the 4th overtime on a 2-point conversion. Was it the Cowboy game? The way Washington came all the way back. Oh, by the way, I was against McLaurin in that league too. The Saquon, the one that Saquon.
Oh, it was, yeah.
That
It
guy's
was the last play of the game that essentially McLaurin gets off his gigantic touchdown. And like, here we go again with Washington, and missed the extra
They
point.
missed the extra point, and then the onside kick of the Cowboys return it for a touchdown, which is just,
the Cowboys are top of the list because it was pile on. You did not see a way that offense was somehow, some way going to score points.
No.
Going into that game. Like, Washington bounce back spot, not so fast.
it was a total bounce back spot. As I look at my 3-for-all, I thought they were just going to pump them. The only one I got right was the Tampa Bay beating the hell out of them.
How about that Tommy DeVito spark?
Yeah.
You know it's bad when you're like, this game would look better if Daniel Jones was playing.
You know, that perspective changes week to week on who's the biggest mess in the NFL. Like it does, right? Whether it's the Cowboys, whether it's the Giants, whether it's whomever you think it is, the Carolina Panthers. All of a sudden, Bryce Young looks like a quarterback, doesn't he? I mean, give that guy a little bit of time. Give that guy a couple of weapons.
Mr. Cover.
I mean, just keep betting against the Chiefs to cover.
Yes.
I mean, that's the only one you lost, right? Yeah, I think so. You took Seattle and you took Minnesota. Oh, you lost on Minnesota too because you led 3.5.
Because
Yeah.
they gave up 11 points in 30
I
seconds.
mean, and that's the other one. Where did
Come
that?
on.
So they get an onside kick because it plinkles around off a dude's leg, and like what the hell? Yeah, we both went 1 and 2. You lost on the hook on Minnesota. You laid 3.5. They won by 3. You won with Seattle laying a point. They won by 10, and you lost on Kansas City. You laid 10.5. Well, everybody was going the other way in that game. And then I lost on New England because they always play well in Miami, except for they don't. I won with Tampa Bay at the Giants, laid 6, and I thought Washington was going to pummel Dallas, and they didn't. And so we both went 1 and 2. So you are 18 and 21. I am, 20, 18 and 1. So, it's hard, man. That's the whole point of
Yes.
this exercise.
And some of it is just zigging when everyone is zagging. And that's what I did with Kansas City, and it was way off.
Yeah, it's the whole point of the exercise.
And if Minnesota could close out a game with the lead, it'd be nice.
Yeah, but they won. Nobody believes in them, but they won. They continue to win, and nobody believes in them, but they won. All right, I got so much. Between Aaron Rodgers denying the test to see how injured he is, to the Giants players ripping their own effort, to Tommy DeVito, to college football, to your new athletic director, to Lobo basketball last night. I offer you this. If you don't have something to talk about, you're probably listening to the wrong format. 505-246-0610. Come on in today. 505-246. Oh, wow. And the longest winning streak in women's college basketball was snapped over the weekend. 505-246-0610. Let's go. When we come back, we're going to dive into the NFL. There's some unbelievable stories in this, right? Where's Houston going? You thought they were good. Are the Rams any good? They're not. Are the Niners any good? They're probably not. So who is? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Happy Monday. Glad you're with us on Thanksgiving week on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Hey, who watches your house when you're not there? Like, who's watching it? Is it the good guys or is it the bad guys? And I think you're well aware that property crime's on the increase and the officer shortage is real, and it takes a long time for police to respond to calls. Sometimes hours, sometimes it's days. IPS, International Protective Service, is affordable private security, and they get there within 5 to 7 minutes of an alarm going off. That's their response time. Often they catch the bad guys in the act, they detain them, the cops come get them. I've trusted IPS for years to watch my home. You see them at businesses and homes all around Albuquerque, now in Santa Fe. Why? Because they work. They're a layer of security, and it gives you peace of mind. IPS provides standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock. They install alarms, cameras. They have a state-of-the-art facility and monitors those cameras 24/7. Just raise the level of security around your home and business. Can't prevent all the crime, but if you have no protection, you're much more likely to be victimized. Call IPS, see what they can do for you at 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com.
O'Shea.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Service.
Weekend, huh? Opening drive on a Monday. It's Thanksgiving week. University of New Mexico has a new athletic director, Fernando Lobo. He'll be with us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. You'll meet him. Comes over from the University of Texas, where he was the senior associate athletic director in charge of operations over there. 36 years old, first athletic director job. Lobo basketball beats Texas Southern last night. 12 Lobos who played scored. The bench got a lot of run. Philip Borovichinen didn't check into the game until the 9:41 mark of the second half. Actually, JJ, I was getting a text from a buddy who was like, is he just in the doghouse? What's the deal? I don't know. But he got his run last night.
I think that was. I wouldn't say he was in a doghouse, but as Richard Pitino spoke about, he was still a young player. He didn't play a lot at Arizona. Came in, ton of expectations. Like this 6'9" guy in the starting lineup is going to change everything. Struggling, so sit him down, and then you allow him to come into a game when there's not a lot of expectations on you at that moment. Get some confidence.
Yeah. All right. This is coming in this morning. The Raiders quarterback Gardner Minshew. Not that they're going anywhere, but he has broken a collarbone, out for the rest of the season. That was in the loss to the Broncos yesterday. He's on a 2-year, $25 million contract, $15 million guaranteed. He was injured when Broncos' Cody Barton sacked him in the second half. They are 2-9. Aiden O'Connell will be their quarterback. Where does Daniel Jones end up this year? He's going to end up somewhere this week.
It might be Vegas at this point, just to have a competent quarterback. But then you look at how hungry would that ownership be at this point in time when they're in the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes?
To just tank it.
They probably won't be too hungry. I think San Francisco is a fascinating option after watching how much Allen struggled in that offense.
That was stunning.
With and Christian McCaffrey didn't look good. Like in the defense, I get they're banged up, but come on, I think your offense is down. You're going to step up and show anything against the Packers. They did not. It was Josh Jacobs' day.
Yep, needed that. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. What a weekend for Lobos. I guess it's
how about Michigan?
Now,
how about Michigan winning 50-6, Rudy? I mean, come on now.
I mean,
you're bowl eligible.
What happened? The offense decided to play.
You're bowl eligible. You got the young quarterback who's making $12 million in NIL, was just walking the sideline, and all of a sudden you put up 50 points. Just his presence, Underwood in the building, gave you 50 points.
Yep. Well, now, let's see if we can get New Mexico versus Michigan in the New Mexico Bowl for the matchup, Jeff.
All right, I'm working on it. So that's one of those where I go, it'd be New Mexico versus Central. Michigan.
Yeah. Hey, I did want to give the recap on the turkey drive.
Yeah,
278.
Yeah, that's so cool.
278.
Hold on. I want people who don't know what that is. And if you weren't with us last week, that is Lobo linemen started this, taking their NIL money and buying turkeys for families who need some help with a Thanksgiving meal this week, and so the community got behind it, and they all got involved, and so you're feeding 278 families.
Yeah, and so many of them were so grateful. And I got to tell you one story. There was this guy I kept seeing. He was there about 20 minutes. He wasn't in a car, and so Aaron Givens, who played football for UNM, was there to help out too, and he walked over with me and we said, can we help you? And he goes, I don't have a car. We said, you don't need a car, sir. He lives in a trailer park near the stadium, and he said, I really haven't had a meal for a while, and so we gave him, all the fixings and everything. And I said, do you have a place to cook it? He goes, yeah, I'm going to go back to my trailer right now and thaw it and cook this turkey. And I just want to thank you. And man, stuff like that just gets you,
Yep.
It was such an outpouring for both sides. Bronco showed up, and also our new offensive lineman commit from Phoenix Brophy. I wish I could remember the young man's name, but Phoenix Brophy, anybody knows about that. It's like Albuquerque Academy, one of the best preparatory schools in the country. I said, so how are your grades? He goes, I just have a 4.0, just a 4.0.
That's
He's
right.
6'5", 295 offensive line commit for UNM. So the future is indeed bright. The basketball team, I wish the girls could have just shot a little better. They had a chance to take down Gonzaga, and 99 points for the men. That's a lot of points, especially when you only score 32, I think, the first half.
It was here. I got it right somewhere here. It was 38 in the first half. 38-31.
Yeah, so that's an explosion, and everybody got to score. And I think Borovicinen, you can pronounce his name for me. Borovicinen finally broke loose, and you can see how talented this kid is. So he keeps going like that. Who knows? The sky's the limit for this team. Great weekend for Lobo Sports. Oh, and by the way, the most amazing story, Haptum Samuel. Did you see that?
They were runner-up at the Nationals. Is that what you're talking about?
Dude, he ran half the race without one shoe.
Oh, no, I did not see that. No.
His shoe fell off.
He ran 5K, Jeff, in 35-degree frozen turf.
Why is the
and
shoe?
Finished second.
Why didn't he have a shoe?
It just fell off.
It came off somehow. He got a flat tire from another runner, and so he just ran with barefooted with one shoe on, one shoe off.
And he finished second in the race.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and he finished second. That's incredible. Yeah, that's legendary. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Take care.
See you. So he
yeah, literally looked like he got clipped or just fell off, and he had a barefoot
that is
for half
insane.
the race, and he finished second.
Yeah, that is insane. Guy from Harvard won the race. That's insane.
But everyone was talking about
that.
He's like, wait, you did the what?
Yeah.
Foot was like mangled after the race.
I'll bet it was.
And it's got to throw you off like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you have no choice. What are you going to do? Go back and get your shoe?
He just kept going.
Yeah,
man.
you have no choice.
The same dude he's got taken out early in the race, got up, finished first.
Fell.
Like, this dude is
in track. Yeah, the dude
nails.
Fell. Yeah. He said, I look back almost like, can I grab my shoe? Maybe. But if I go back and grab my shoe, the gap is going to be bigger. So just keep going. Oh, his foot looks
I just felt like running.
His foot looks brutal, dude. All right, I can't look at that anymore.
It's got up one day and felt like running.
505-246-0610. If you want to come in today and get in on anything you saw. When we get back, I want to get into some of the NFL stuff. Cowboy fan, good win? Or, I mean, long run? Winning's nice, right? Beating those guys is nice, isn't it? Because that was a bad loss for the Commandos. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView.
And Lobo's scheduled to be with us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. The new Lobo athletic director, Bronco Mendenhall, scheduled at 9 o'clock today. Merry Monday to you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. All right. I was kind of playing with the winners and losers, and it's a little more challenging. First of all, there's you had 6 teams on bye, so there's less games, but it was a little. While the entertainment value was big. How about if I went with this? I don't know if there was a big statement. I don't know that there were any games that you just stare out and just go, wow. But the Eagles made a hell of a statement last night, didn't they? Going across the country and just beating the hell out of a Rams team that thought they were in a good position, ran it right down their necks all day long. Got it, Matthew Stafford. If there's a statement that was made, it would either be Seattle or it would be them, right? Because Seattle in a division game had Arizona, who was in first place, come up to their place and completely baffled Kyler Murray yesterday. Seattle, and the rain wasn't that bad, and it's not like Seattle went bonkers and scored a bunch of points and Geno didn't throw it all over the place. But boy, Kyler Murray's numbers, all right, they're fine, 285 yards, but he looked miserable.
Well, the difference in that game was his pick six.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's, what I expected in that game is I don't think any team in the NFC West has a high ceiling, and those games are going to look like that.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Mike, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Mike.
Yo, what's up, guys? Happy holiday week. Thanks for taking my call. I was out of town all week last week, so I didn't get to chime in. But I got a few points here. First of all, that Browns game, the Browns-Pittsburgh game last Thursday night, yeah. Snowy, all crazy. Man, that game reminded me of the UNM Washington State game in the sense that you could tell the Browns fans knew something was going to happen. That's why they stuck around. That's why, and that was the feeling out at University Stadium when the Lobos beat Washington State the other weekend. Man, that was such a cool game. So I just wanted to throw that out there that I felt like that. You could kind of feel it when you're watching that Browns game. Do you guys feel that?
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate that.
Second thing, how about the 4 most ridiculous plays you've ever seen in your life in a row?
The Cowboys
boom, yeah. One play, give up the 86-yard touchdown pass.
Yep.
Worst play you've ever seen. The next play, they can't kick the field goal. Bad snap, bad hold, bad kick. Yep. worst play you've ever seen. Then you have the return touchdown, which turned out to be the worst play you've ever seen. And then for the fourth one in a row, Austin Eckler got completely knocked out on that return.
Kickoff.
Wow.
What was he doing
That
out
was
there on the kickoff, by the way?
He's returned kicks all year.
Wild.
Yeah, no, the end of that game was nuts. It was like,
Wow, but hey, my last point, man, Saquon, MVP. MVP. That was awesome. Thanks for taking my call, guys. Have a great week.
Yeah, I'm not arguing on the MVP thing either. He has completely turned that team around. I mean, completely just giving them a different level. Washington State got beat by Oregon State late. That was another.
Was that the Pac-12 championship?
That was another crazy late game. They got field stormed 2 weeks in a row, and they're freaking Washington State. Like, it's not even like you're Alabama. I didn't even know what to think of it. I'm watching the end of that game, and Oregon State holds on and beats them. I think it was by 3, whatever the number was. And I'm like, they got field stormed, literally 2 weeks in a row, and they're Washington State. They lost the game. What was the score? It was, come on, man. But
I'm sure that's good for their ego.
Yeah, 41-38.
Like that. Yeah, this is why we destroyed what was left of a semblance of a meaningful conference on the West Coast because people want to storm the field against us.
Isn't it crazy though? I mean, they're 8-3 now. 0-1 in the Pac-12. They both those teams now finally have a league record.
Yes.
The headline says Oregon State claims Pac-12 title and snaps a 5-game skid with a 41-38 win over Washington State. Oregon State the week before got shut out by Air Force. Like, they're not going to go to a bowl because they got shut out by Air Force. They're 5-6 against Boise State. I mean, can they beat Boise State next week?
That's why I don't want to mess with these Mountain West teams.
It's crazy. They can't beat Boise State, right? Although, who the hell knows anymore? It's so crazy if you look like the Mountain West schedule in week 14 coming up is there's like, I don't know, think of it as, is it opportunity? Oregon State, Boise State. Stanford's at San Jose State. I mean, who do you like there? What do you think the spread is, Stanford, San Jose State? It's in San Jose, by the way. San Jose State's favorite over the ACC team. San Jose State's 6-5.
Is it 3.5?
2.5. Okay. Fresno State, can they go down to UCLA and win? They can, right?
Why the heck not?
UCLA just got beaten a close one by SC. UCLA's bowl contention is over. They're 4-7. Yeah. Air Force, San Diego State, and then that late one. Lobos are an early 2.5-point favorite, by the way, over Hawaii. 61.5 win total. Nevada's at UNLV. So Boise State, by the way, will host the title game. They're in. Boise State held on. Wyoming's quarterback got concussed. The kid the freshman that came in and played against New Mexico and played so well. And I'm going to tell you, I watched a lot of that game. Wyoming had a real good shot at beating Boise State. A real good shot at beating Boise State. They didn't. The final score was, what was it? It was, I want to say 17-14, if I'm not mistaken. It could be 17-10. They just couldn't score. 17-13. 17-13. Boise State got a scare up there. But the quarterback, what was the guy's name? It was Caden Anderson. Got hurt, so they had to go back to Swoboda. They couldn't move the football. That late window, I'm just telling you, Colorado State getting beat by Fresno State, that late window was nuts on Saturday. All right, 505-246-0610. And then there was this, J.J. Buck. New Mexico State went on the road and beat Middle Tennessee. We'll talk to Tony Sanchez tomorrow. But the Aggies go on a road and get to 3 wins. They beat Middle Tennessee 36-21. Ran the ball pretty well. Seth McGowan had a good day. And then Parker Awad was back in at quarterback. And they threw the ball. Let me blow your socks off. They threw the ball for 221 yards.
My socks are blown.
I have no socks on my feet. I just like,
it's like I'm running a marathon.
Cross country. Yes. 36-21. The Aggies, they jumped out to a 10-0 lead. Got pressed late, scored late, went on the road to Murfreesboro, and they won that game. So they'll close it out with the rivalry game. They play UTEP on the road. I'm sorry, at home, Aggie Memorial Stadium, 2:00 on Saturday. If you want to go down for a little rivalry game, what kind of crowd do you get for that now? You think? This is going to be really interesting to me. Thanksgiving weekend. Both teams are out of it. UTEP's 2-9. Aggies are 3-8. 2-5 is like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams at 2-5 in their league. Their championship game is set. It's going to be Sam Houston at Jacksonville State in the Conference USA. But I don't know. Do you get 15,000, 20,000 for that? UTEP fans come up. Like, do they care? Aggies played UNLV pretty tough basketball the other night. Got beat by, I think, 7. It was a tie game with about 3 minutes to go.
It's just always the question we ask playing rivalry games at the end of the season. If both teams are down, does it still have the buzz behind it?
No. Yeah, we'll find out. But that's, yeah. If you were playing Middle Tennessee at the end of the year at home, you'd probably get, 5,000 people, right? So maybe this helps a little bit. All right, 505-246-0610. We come back and we get into what the Broncos did. Because the Broncos are just doing it quietly every week, right? They're not getting the big headlines. The Broncos aren't going out and like the national headlines. You know what the Broncos are doing? Broncos are just winning every single, well, not every single week, but week, actually 4 out of the last 6, and just taking care of business. So I want to get into what they did when we get back. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. All right, it's kind of officially shopping season, right? I mean, Black Friday's this Friday, Thanksgiving's here. You're shopping for that perfect holiday gift, maybe even an engagement ring. John Thomas Jewelers is the only jeweler you should hit. I mean, you can hit all the other ones if you want, but when you go to John Thomas Jewelers, you're going to realize how good they are. Located on the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building, across the street from the mall, directly east. It's a different place now, and different means better in this case. It's like no other jewelry store you've ever been to. They got over 3,000 ladies and men's bridal rings right there on hand to try on. They've got the only free lifetime nation warranty in Albuquerque, and John's going to be in tomorrow. We'll talk to him about what that means. But this is nationwide. If something goes wrong on something that they build, they've got the ability to custom make any ring you can dream of, and it's all done right there in their beautiful state-of-the-art design center in Albuquerque. So whether it's an engagement ring or it's an anniversary ring or you're looking for a holiday gift, they are your spot. It's John Thomas Jewelers, the only 5-star Google-rated full-service jewelry store in town, fastest-growing jeweler in New Mexico for 3 straight years, best jeweler in Albuquerque 4 straight years, even the coolest jewelry store by In-Store Magazine. So there's a bunch of reasons to go see for yourself why John Thomas Jewelers is the best jeweler in Albuquerque. Go visit them, 2440 Louisiana Northeast, Suite 310. It's the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building. Go online. You can see them at johnthomasjewelers.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient.
They're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I did. Montana State, that team that came in and the Lobos were up on them 31-17, first game of the year. You know, that game that, that team that everybody's like, I can't believe we lost to an FCS. And they're the number 1 seed in FCS. They will get a first round bye, and that's where that thing is. But
and undefeated. Montana State.
Yeah.
It's just, if you're going to play an FCS team, just blow them out. Use it as a free square. Don't schedule Montana State.
Look, you'd be bowl eligible right now, right? You would be bowl eligible.
Use it as your free square.
They will play the winner, so they get a bye, so they'll play on the 7th. This weekend, Tennessee Martin plays New Hampshire, and Montana State will get them. So the 2 seed is North Dakota State. The 3 seed is South Dakota State. The 4th seed is South Dakota. Man, the Big Sky. The Dakotas and Montana kind of kill that, huh? UC Davis is the 5 seed. Incarnate Word is the 6th seed. Mercer is the 7th seed. And Idaho is the 8th seed in FCS. So, an Idaho team that used to be in the WAC. And then the Sun Belt. And then they were kind of like the outlier with New Mexico State and all that stuff. All right. Hey, Broncos win again. And JJ, I get it. They're not like winning incredibly sexily, and they're not the lead every week, but they are winning. They didn't run the ball yesterday. Their defense is really good, and I'm not going to get overly excited because they shut down Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. But I look.
Well, Aiden O'Connell didn't play in that game.
Oh, you're right. It was Desmond Ridder. 29-19 was the number. Winning matters, and you've won 4 out of the last 6, and here come the Browns and the Colts. And this is a playoff team.
Sean Payton has done with this offense is unbelievable. It was a giant question mark because they don't have a lot of talent. Cortland Sutton's good, but they don't have explosiveness. The run game is as hit or miss as you're going to get, which I think is going to eventually hurt them if they, do make the playoffs of being able to sustain anything offensively. But Bo Nix is efficient. He's not turning the football over because Sean Payton has put him in a really good position to grow his confidence throughout the season. The offensive plays that they're calling, a lot of motion. You love to see it in the routes. Getting Bo Nix outside the pocket. He's confident throwing as well in big spots, especially in the second half on third down. Some of those touchdown passes to Cortland Sutton were tight window throws. It has been so much better than expected for Bo Nix and Sean Payton.
And a 7th-round pick out of Utah has turned into a pretty good receiver for them, huh?
Yeah.
Devon Bailey?
With the issue, Josh Reynolds being hurt and then getting shot, and kind of signed him to be their number 2 receiver. He hasn't been there. You have young guys, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin trying to work their way in, and then the 7th rounder has stepped up to be the number 2 option. Had a really good day yesterday in the passing game, and it's just fun to watch a team have a plan, actually be able to process that plan, and they're beating the teams that they should be on their schedule right now. And you mentioned there's still opportunities ahead for Denver.
I know a lot of people are still loving on Cincinnati and still think that there's room for them, and maybe we'll see something happen, right? We're 11 games in for most.
I think Miami is one to watch.
Miami is 5-6, just won a couple in a row, and they're healthy. They looked a lot better yesterday than I thought they would. They won 3 in a row after losing 3 in a row. They'll get a test next week. They got to go to Green Bay. Let's see, and if it's cold, and I want to see how Tua plays when it's chilly.
Well, it was cold in New England.
Weren't they home yesterday? They were
home.
Yeah, they were home yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, it might have been cold in New England, but they didn't play up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's right.
Sometimes I write my notes out.
No.
And then I can't even read them.
Sometimes I think Aiden O'Connell's playing, and
That's right.
it was really Spencer.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's been the crutch for Miami. Is when they last year they had the opportunity. Can you beat Buffalo? Can you go into those situations? And
had to go to Kansas
Green Bay is
City
going to be like it's the negative 20 whatever is the killer for everyone in that playoff game.
Well, look, his last 2 games, and this is why I don't think Miami's going to get in the playoffs. Okay, they after this they got warm weather. I mean they play at the Texans, which is a dome. Well, they get the Jets at home, which is a bad team. They go to Houston, Niners at home, but their last 2 are at Cleveland and at the Jets. That sounds cold to me.
Yeah.
And
those are games Miami should be favored in.
Well, and both those teams should be completely done by then, right? Like, what are those teams playing for at that point?
Jameis Winston is on the field. They're playing for something.
Fair. Totally fair. But my point being, I've watched this quarterback play in the cold, and it's been really, really bad. And look, I get it, man. He grew up in Hawaii. He played in the South. Like, I mean, why would he be good at it? Right? I mean, there's nothing. It's like Jameis, the whole thing, right? Why would he be good in the cold? He's never done it, and it's a shock. But you're going to have to be. I think their hole is big because when you look at the standings in the AFC, Buffalo is going to win the East. They're 4 games clear. They're going to win. I don't know who's going to win the North, but I do think Pittsburgh and Baltimore are both going to get in the playoffs. Right? Pittsburgh's got the lead in the tiebreaker. I think Houston is, and they're in trouble right now. They're 7-5, but I think they're clear enough that they win, and Kansas City is going to win the West. And so that leaves 2 playoff spots, and right now it's the Chargers and the Broncos, both with 7 wins, and the Chargers play tonight. And after that, it's you got 5-win Miami. I mean, you got a game and a half up on Miami right now. That's really nice. So,
yeah, of the teams,
and you
trying
them, right?
to chase down Denver.
Yeah,
like I am just looking at Miami based on the schedule they have ahead, and the last 2 games are obviously a huge the test for them in cold weather. Broncos and Dolphins do not play this season.
Yeah, they did play. I thought they did. But I'm looking where they are, and I again, the AFC is really defined. The NFC is a mess to me. Philly's going to win the East because what a loss by Washington. Detroit's going to win the North. Somebody's going to win the South, and that's going to be the only team that comes out of there, and somebody's going to win the West. right? And then so your wild card teams right now, I mean, they may all come out. Well, right now your wild card teams are it's the Vikings, the Packers, and the Commanders. And the Commanders, by the way, will be the worst loss of the week. They have lost 3 in a row. You say, all right, they lost the Steelers and Eagles. All right, but they had to get healthy games coming up. They got the Cowboys, Titans, and Saints. They're going to get healthy. JJ, yesterday's loss was inexplicable if you're Washington.
3 in a row. The 2 games before this, all right, tough test. Rookie quarterback going against good teams. Chance to come back home, get settled. They couldn't run the football. Brian Robinson got hurt early. It was all Jaden Daniels. It can't be all Jaden Daniels. Austin Eckler wasn't able to get going. Then he gets hurt late. The passing game has been way too slow to come around the last few games. Learning moment for this team. How are they going to respond now? It was all the hype. Love the Commanders. Yes, good job, good effort so far. Now your back's against the wall.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610. Coming up here in about 5 minutes, you will meet the new athletic director. At least that's what the schedule is, that Fernando Lobo is going to join us, and we'll talk to the new athletic director at the University of New Mexico, a gentleman who is coming over from the University of Texas, where he was the senior associate athletic director in charge of operations at UT, and worked a lot of places football-wise. Tom Herman and Urban Meyer. So we'll talk to Fernando Lobo, the new athletic director at the University of New Mexico. That's next. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my...
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. To me, it was the 3 Ps, right? The people, the potential, and the process, right? So the process was just an incredible one. I met so many amazing people throughout the process that I knew, New Mexico was the place for me and for my family. The people I've been able to catch up with. So many great people, coaches, talked to many of them yesterday, and just, again, all of the people that I met throughout the process, President Stokes, her incredible leadership and the search committee and everyone, the people were just tremendous. And then you talk about the potential, right? The flagship institution of the state of New Mexico, and just so much potential across the board. And the opportunity to come realize that potential and follow in Eddie's footsteps. He did a tremendous job, and to be able to continue to grow and lead the Department of Athletics into the new future of college athletics.
Fernando, what do you know about? Have you been here? Have you spent any time here? It's. And everybody always says it's a different spot. It's a unique spot, and I know that you work closely, obviously, with Chris Del Conte, who's from Taos, who is probably the best fundraiser I've ever met in this business, who's passionate, who loves New Mexico. So I'm going to guess he's giving you a pretty good syllabus and crash course on it. But as far as New Mexico for you, is this going to be a brand new, or is there any familiarity to you?
No, I've never been to Albuquerque or the state of New Mexico, but you hit the nail on the head right there. My mentor and my boss here at the University of Texas, Chris Del Conte, native New Mexican, he's talked to me so much about the state, the city, and the great people that are there. And so even though I've never actually been there, I feel like I know quite a bit, but I am so excited and so humbled to be able to come there and lock arms with Lobo Nation and our great campus leadership and everyone else to push us forward. So a lot of great stories, laughs with Chris over the years, and especially as this opportunity presented itself. So I'm super excited to get down there and realize what it's all about. So yeah, absolutely thrilled to be able to come down there.
He's Fernando Lobo, the Lobos' new athletic director, with us on the Sports Animal.
Now, you mentioned fundraising, which is always a key part of college athletics, and now more so than ever because you have to get people interested in the institution, season tickets, Lobo Club, all that stuff. But then you have name, image, and likeness as well that you have to build. What is your process in terms of fundraising, just trying to meet people, build relationships throughout the community?
Yeah, absolutely. And you said it right there, right? It's building relationships. And one of the things that I take the most pride in is being a people person, someone that develops deep, meaningful relationships with folks and takes the time to look, learn, and listen and understand. And then beyond that is to serve our coaches and our staff and student athletes, right? And part of that is developing fundraising strategies and revenue streams to help support whatever their endeavors are, which is obviously to compete for championships, and even more importantly than that to develop our student athletes holistically, right? So you mentioned, Chris Delcani, one of the best, if not the best fundraisers in the country, and just learning from him, being part of those discussions, seeing him, put those plans together, and then realizing the potential across the board by investing in our student athletes and our coaches and our staff. That's something that I've learned and something that I can't wait to implement at the University of New Mexico. But again, it's all about relationships and people and selling a vision. And the great thing at New Mexico is that, as I said before, we have great people. So that's very easy to sell, and we have incredible potential. And obviously, name, image, and likeness, is a big part of it. And so, when we're asking for the help from our donors and from Lobo Nation, it's about clear alignment and communication, and developing those relationships so that when we go, ask them, hey, this is what we need from you. Can you please help? That they understand exactly what we're asking for and the impact that it's going to have on our department and student athletes.
And of course, as athletic director, you're going to oversee some really good programs all across campus, but we understand, what football means right now in the landscape in this process. And you've been around some really good programs, but with what the Mountain West is going to look like in 2 years, Lobo football, the challenges it's faced, what potential do you see when it comes to football?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, I think you have to start with the leader, right? And the question is, do you have the right leader for your program? And at the University of New Mexico, the answer is unequivocally yes. Coach Mendenhall, the job that he's done, obviously the wins and losses, and watching them beat Washington State, and everyone rushing the field, and the student athletes chanting and cheering his name, Bronco in the locker room, and it was just something that was really impactful to me as I watched from afar. And so, you have a proven winner from across the board, and then also just a tremendous person. And so, your question about what does the future hold in the Mountain West and really in college athletics in general, and it's clear that these decisions have been driven by football, and so the success of our football program is critically important to provide Coach Mendenhall and his staff with everything that they need to be successful, both on and off the field. And I can't wait to get there and start to work with him because, what I believe is happening right now is there's hope, right? There's hope that the future is what everybody at New Mexico wants it to be, not just for football. And I know we're talking about football, but, I once heard a rising tide raises all ships. And so we know that with football success, sustained football success with the right people, which we have, that the tide will start to rise within the department, and we will position ourselves as one of the preeminent brands, if not the preeminent brand in the Mountain West Conference, which will allow us to be on the solid footing that we need to moving forward. So just super excited and humbled for the chance to be able to work with Coach Mendenhall, and can't wait to get down there and roll up my sleeves and get to work with him and all of our other amazing coaches.
He's Fernando Lobo, yesterday named the athletic director at the University of New Mexico. Fernando, budgets and everything's about revenue, right? Everything we've been talking about, fundraising and revenue and resources. And like at Texas and at Ohio State, places where you've been, the budget is drastically different than it is here. Whether it's a $230 million budget or whatever is reported there, and is somewhere south of $50 million here. What's the challenges? And maybe this is a question for you, I don't know, 6 months from now. But as far as working with a drastically smaller budget and still trying to have some of the results, at least on scale, that you've had or that you envision, because the resources are going to be harder to come by.
Yeah, great question. So, here's what I'll say, and you said it best at the end. I can't wait to get down there and just really dive in and just take a look at everything holistically. And, my first 60, 90 days are going to be look and listen, right? So I need to understand where we're at and certainly know where we want to go, before, making any sort of prognostications in terms of resources and all of that. But I will tell you this, that, to me, it's all about the investment level, regardless of what your budget is at the end of the day, and ensuring that you're investing in the right places with the right strategies. And so, obviously fundraising and driving revenues and finding creative ways of doing that is something that we can and absolutely will have to do moving forward. But I know this. I spent time at the University of Houston, or in the early stages of their transition and foray into the process of going into the Big 12 and during the early years of that. And so I was able to get firsthand experience and knowledge of really looking at things, with under the magnifying glass to say, okay, here's where we need to invest, or maybe here's where we need to divert other resources. So can't wait to dive into that. And obviously we will be very aggressive finding new strategies and revenues and fundraising because we need it. We know we need it, and we know we need to continue to infuse new dollars into our operating budget. And so using those roadmaps, whether it was at Texas or Houston or Ohio State, wherever in my past, those roadmaps I'm going to be using. And look, we have big, audacious goals, and I'm not afraid to shy away from that. And we won't, as a staff, as a department, as coaches. So absolutely great question.
Yeah, you come in with it. With there's some momentum. Football has an opportunity to get to a bowl game. Basketball went to the NCAA tournament. Women's basketball is playing well. You've got a staff that you've got to get to know. People always talk about the first thing I'm going to do as a leader. What day one I'm going to do this, and maybe this isn't a fair question, or maybe it's too vague of a question. But I'll ask you, like day one, you're going to come in, and what's the priorities? Like the top of the priority list when you get here.
Yeah, day one for me, and I go back to what we talked about before, it is about relationships. I know that we have great people, both, in the department, across campus and in the city. And so, day one for me is to listen, and understand and take as many notes as possible and meet with every staff member, as many student athletes as I can. It's over the holidays, obviously will be a little bit tough, but, I want to ingrain myself into the department and listen to them and take notes. And then, outside in the community, right? We cannot do this alone. This is a team effort. And so being out, being visible, showing people that is what I'm about. And that way I can, take it all in and learn from the great folks that are there and put a plan in place to help us continue to grow and to elevate the brand of New Mexico athletics across the national landscape.
He's Fernando Lobo, the new Lobo athletic director. I got a text. It says, please stress to the new AD the importance of developing the area next to the pit in the football stadium that UNM owns. And so I don't know if that's at the top of your priority list, but he wants tap rooms and shopping right there. So, hey, I'm just doing my duty. Hey, why do you want to be an AD? I look at it at 36 years old, and your career is just, has been successful, and you're a young man. And I look at the tumult that has become college athletics, and a lot of people have shied away from it. And a lot of people, there's a few who have run towards it. And I mean, just talking, Chris Del Conte's been in this game for a while. You ask him the difference between being an AD now and 15, 20 years ago, and it's drastically different business. Why do you want to be an athletic director at this point?
Yeah. So to me, and I've said this, to folks along my journey, and I've never wavered from it. To me, my calling has always been, when I started working in college athletics at the University of Florida as an equipment manager for the football team, I developed a deep admiration there for the impact that college athletics has on the young men and women that participate in it. And so for me, my calling has always been to serve student athletes and to develop them holistically. And having a meaningful impact on their lives after sport. And so that has always been my calling. And, when we talk about the challenges that all of us face in this business, and Chris has provided me with so much, clarity and guidance on this. And you're right. I mean, the times have changed. But whenever I look at our challenges, I always go back to what my calling is. And my calling has and always will be to serve student athletes and to develop them and to develop trust, so to know that I'm there with them and I will do anything in my power to help them succeed on and off the field, in the courts and in the classroom. So very simple for me. That's just that's my rock, my foundation, and something that I've never wavered from, and it keeps me focused. And you talk about running. I was sprinting towards this job and this opportunity. So, and I can't wait to serve Lobo Nation and our great staff and student athletes.
No, that leads perfectly into where I want to close with. There's a feeling around here amongst Lobo fan. I've been here 28 years and have a pretty good feel. And there's a bit of an insecurity. Is that fair, JJ? Right, amongst Lobo fan, a little bit, right? That people just want to come in here and they're looking for the next job. And where's the next job? And nobody's saying, hey, Fernando, are you going to stay here for 40 years? That's not what anybody's saying. But I think what people, I don't know, one of the things that we've gotten the most during comments during this search was we want somebody who wants to be here and make a difference at UNM and not just use it as a stepping stone. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah, and what I will tell you, and I just said, what I just said, I'll reiterate. I was not just running to this job. I was sprinting to this job. And I think it was the first question you asked me, why New Mexico, right? The people and the potential. And to me, it's a place where, one, I'm excited to be able to raise my family. I've got 2 little kids, a 5-year-old, and my daughter will be 3, and it's a place that aligns completely with our personal, visions and values in terms of as a family, and also the potential, the opportunity to have an impact, to allow me to grow alongside with our coaches and student athletes is something that really that drove me to this job, and I can tell you that this is a dream come true for me and for my family. And we are just on cloud 9, and we can't wait to get down there and ingrain ourselves in the community and really become part of Lobo Nation for a long, long time to come.
Welcome to you and your family. Congratulations. Hey, pronounce your name because the similarity, Lobo and Lobo, and I read the story about how your family name was Lobo. I mean, the irony, that can't be lost on anybody. How do you say your name?
Yeah, so my name is Fernando Lovo, L-O-V as in Victor O, and you're right, the irony is just incredible, and again, I believe I said it a few times to the committee and just across the board. It's just perhaps it was destiny, that I was born to be a Lobo, but no, it's Fernando Lovo, but it's just too funny. So it's funny how things work out.
You put the burnt orange into a trunk somewhere, and tell Chris thanks for the time, and I know Chris played a big part in your development in getting you here, and now it's Fernando Lobo as the head of the Lobos, and we'll see you in town after Thanksgiving. Congratulations. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Appreciate you spending some time with us, and look forward to shaking your hand when you get here and meeting you in person.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, JJ, and have a happy Thanksgiving as well, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Go Lobos.
Take care. He is Fernando Lobo, the new athletic director at the University of New Mexico. A lot there, and some questions that I think you wanted to hear answered, and maybe you did, and maybe I'd love your response. 505-246-0610. Your initial impression?
He knocked it out.
Yeah, guys.
Cool, calm, collected.
Yeah. But it seems relatively polished. Mm-hmm. Guy who wants to be here, his first athletic director job, and I wasn't trying to pigeonhole him, say, hey, you're going to be here for 40 years. That's not that's hardly anybody's point. But
people want to believe that you're invested, and that while you're here, you understand it's a business, and everyone from the players to the coaches to anyone in that building could always be looking at what's next, but you want to see, while someone's here, they're ingrained in your department, in your community.
Lobo Hobo said, does this mean I need to change my name to Lovo Hovo? 505-246-0610. I want to hear what you heard right there. Your response to the new athletic director at UNM. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Mentor, the athletic director at Texas, who's from Taos, was texting the governor in Fernando Lobo's aid to get this job. So I don't know how big of a play that is, but I'm going to imagine it's pretty big when the AD at UT, right, is pushing you.
It's probably got some power behind it. With what we've seen in college athletics, the growth of college football, and that's really what stands out to me, is the football background that he brings. It's
and you asked
really
about
important
that.
right now.
Yeah, you asked about that, and I think, look, football is where it's in large respects. Well, I don't even think in large respects. In total, is why UNM did not get asked to go with those other schools to the Pac-12, right? I mean, David Williams said it on our show. President Stokes has said it in other interviews. I think Eddie has acknowledged it, right? Everybody's acknowledged the reason that New Mexico did not get invited to go along with the other schools of the Pac-12 was lack of football success, lack of football commitment, the facility, all those things. And that's another thing I wanted to talk to him about, and we will, is the facility. But again, it all comes down to everything that came up was resources. Now, I don't know if he can raise funds or not. His background is in operations. So, well, he oversaw multi-million-dollar projects and whatever that means, right? And that's not fair, whatever that means. That's not right. Did he raise the money? Can he raise the money? Look, I will tell you this, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Chris Del Conte, for whom he worked at Texas, is the single best fundraiser I've ever met in college athletics. Del Conte walks into a room, and he owns the room immediately, and what he did at TCU to raise the money for that stadium expansion and renovation and get them into the Big 12, and then what he's done at UT has been, I mean, there's nobody better. And so Fernando Lobo comes from that tree, and hopefully he's learned from that. Can he raise funds? Has he? There's a difference between can you do something and have you done something, right? But he's going to have to here to be successful.
Yeah, and it's about getting people to trust in you and still walk that line of the investment that you need from fans, tickets, Lobo Club, but name, image, and likeness. And you're not going anywhere in college athletics without name, image, and likeness.
Just look what happened in Michigan, huh? I mean, $12 million for a quarterback, right? And all of a sudden that quarterback's on the sideline, they scored 50 points. That was kind of amazing, by the way. Maybe Northwestern being the opponent, but yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Bronco Mendenhall scheduled to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll talk to the Lobo football coach about the bye week, the game against Hawaii, his impressions of his new boss as Fernando Lobo comes in as the athletic director. So we'll do that coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. Open it back up to you at 505-246-0610. We can get into all this. I want to get into the weekend that was college football as well, because the tumult at the playoff level, and now all of a sudden SMU's in. You're seeing Arizona State in brackets. Alabama, I mean, did they do enough to fall out? You would think so, but yet they're still Alabama. So I want to get into some of the craziness that happened on Saturday in college football as well, but you're welcome to get in on what you heard from Fernando Lobo. 505-246-0610. Hey, searching for your ideal venue. You got an event coming up, a party, a reception, a convention, a gala, even a holiday party still. Albuquerque Convention Center is your spot. They will accommodate anything imaginable from intimate meetings and gatherings, grand expos and conferences. They've got the staff and the service and the food and beverage options that will go above and beyond and make your dream event a reality. They've got, at the Albuquerque Convention Center, diverse layouts that fulfill every planner's desire. Exterior and interior walls decorated by local art pieces, delectable food and beverage options, and right in the historic downtown area. Your event will surely satisfy every attendee. We host an event there every single year for the student athletes at Isleta New Mexico Bowl because they take care of our guests the way we need them to be taken care of. It's at the center of it all. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. When you're thinking about hosting an event, make sure you consider the Albuquerque Convention Center. Visit them online at albuquerquecc.com. albuquerquecc.com, and then call them at 505-768-4575. 505-768-4575. It is the Albuquerque Convention Center. Be at the center of it all.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
All right, got some response from you all. 505-246-0610. This one says, I just lost it. Dang it. I'm going to have to find it again. All right, emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It says, impressive, love his passion. Hard to believe he's 36 years old. He's got quite the resume and a great speaker. Exciting times ahead. Okay. We just heard from Fernando Lobo. Is that all right that I asked him to pronounce his name just so we get it right? I mean, is that wrong?
That is a very good thing.
All right. Bourne says, sometimes from the mouths of bucks come gems. Jeff, like you can drink water, and last week when Hawaii becomes a full Mountain West Conference member, they need to integrate television and post signs with the rest of your league. Why is it taking so long? We shouldn't be sitting here 5 days before still wondering if the game can be found on TV. They're not going to integrate game time. Like the way the Globe works, they're not going to play games at like 11 in the morning just to fit your couch time. With all due respect, the Hawaii games are going to be on late. It's just the way it is, man. Like their fans want to go to games too in the evening. You know what I mean? Just like oh wait, you sometimes don't get to. All right, JJ, college football this week. Let me run these down. Washington State got beat by Oregon State in the only Pac-12 game of the year. So Oregon State is the Pac-12 champions. Ohio State beat Indiana at 38-15. With everything else, I think when it happened in the morning, we thought Indiana was going to get knocked out, but then we saw everybody else. Indiana right now is probably going to stay in the playoff. Don't you think? Assuming they win this week against Purdue, and then the season 11-1, they won't get into the Big Ten championship game, but I believe the fact that everybody else has so many losses, I think that's going to keep Indiana in. With Alabama losing, A&M losing, all those things. Don't you think?
As of now, yes.
All right. Notre Dame pumped Army. 49-14.
Who does Notre Dame think they are? How do you do that to Navy and Army? How un-American of you.
Just beating the living crap out of both of them?
How dare you do that to the Service Academy?
Yeah, Northern Illinois took it out of them.
In their undefeated seasons.
All right. Then you started getting these crazy results. 9th-ranked Ole Miss loses to a Florida team that was dead in the water early in the year. It is now 6-5 and got bowl eligible. Like Florida lost to Miami, they lost to A&M, they lost to Tennessee, Georgia, Texas. All right, you're like, wow, what a freaking schedule. But they were able to come back and beat Samford, Mississippi State, UCF, Kentucky, and then the last 2 weeks beat LSU and Ole Miss. Florida's bowl eligible. So Ole Miss gets knocked out probably. Then Alabama. Where did this come from? Oklahoma, who I think you probably figured was not going to make a bowl game. Oklahoma was 5-5. They got Alabama and LSU left. Wow, Oklahoma's they not only beat Alabama, 24-3, they dominate Alabama. Then there was BYU, who 2 weeks ago was in a bye slot in the playoff projections. They get beat the week prior by Kansas, and then in a crazy ending, by the way. How Arizona State tried to run out the clock, and then they stormed the field and ripped down the goalpost, and BYU still had another play, like bonkers. Arizona State beats them. All right, so Colorado's in line. JJ, here comes Dion. They're in line. 16th-ranked Colorado loses on the road to Kansas. They get knocked out.
3 in a row for the Jayhawks.
How about that? And then Auburn beats A&M. A&M was online for a shot at the SEC championship game. They get Texas this week. It was all about that. All they got to do is go beat Auburn. Auburn isn't that good. Auburn's 4-6 at the time. They go 4 overtimes, drop a 2-point conversion, and lose to Auburn. 15th-ranked A&M loss. So for the record, 7-9, 14, 15, and 16 all lost. What a bonkers Saturday. So where do we sit? And the playoff rankings will come out tomorrow. And Boise State will, and by the way, they damn near lose in Laramie. If they would have lost in Laramie, would they have fallen behind Army? Like, would they still be, like, who knows, right? This is why college football in November is so silly.
And it's the imbalance of these schedules. It's like you want to say, hey, you're good, you want to give them credit, but then you see some of these teams take a step up, and as much as people are like, yeah, Navy and Army, they didn't look like they belonged in the same field with Notre Dame. And then for Indiana to get their test in 38-15, Ohio State.
All right, so the AP poll came out. Now, again, it doesn't matter because you're waiting for the college football playoff standings, but the AP poll came out this morning. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Georgia, 6, Tennessee, 7, Miami, 8. SMU is 9, 2 years removed from playing in New Mexico Bowl. And then Indiana State at 10, ahead of Boise State, 11. Clemson's back in the conversation. Alabama, 13, Arizona State, 14. So it looks like the Big 12 champion, assuming Boise State wins out, right? That means they got to beat Oregon State this weekend and then win the conference championship game. Probably now with Colorado State losing, UNLV's back in that game, right? If UNLV takes care of business and wins, and by the way, UNLV is ranked 21st in the poll. But if UNLV can win their final game, I'm not going to lie. I give UNLV a shot to go up and beat Boise State on the blue in the conference championship game.
Absolutely, they do have a shot in that contest.
And then what happens? Because then UNLV would be the conference champion. Would they go to the play? I guess they could still go to the playoff because who's ranked higher than them? Would it be Army if Army wins the American? Right? It's where we are with this thing. Tulane or Tulane at 9-2. So the highest ranked Group of 5 team is in the AP that came out today. Boise State at 11, Tulane at 18, UNLV at 21, and Army at 25. Be fascinating. I don't think we're done with crazy stuff, dude. What we watched the other day was bonkers. I don't think we're done with the crazy stuff. We're not. There's going to be still more of what the hell happened. I'm just telling you. What happened there? What was? Where did that game come from? Like, I don't know. I think it's as crazy as Michigan beating Ohio State. I don't think that can happen. Ohio State looks nice, don't they? The Oregon, Ohio State look really nice. All right, Bronco Mendenhall coming up in 16 minutes at 9 o'clock. 505-246-0610. I got a bunch of correspondence from you. I'll get to you when you get back. You can also get in at 505-246-0610. All right, busy times, right? Families coming in, Thanksgiving, holidays, travel, kids, I know. How's your car? Take care of it. Get it taken care of by On the Spot Automotive Detailing. This is one of your biggest investments. You will have your vehicle for a long, long time. Take care of it and have my friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing take care of it for you. They are the best in the city. Awarded that because they take the time to make sure your car looks and feels and smells brand new. So what's the story with them? They really come to you. They really bring their whole mobile unit out to you. I don't have to take my vehicle to them. 100% yes, yes, and yes. You're in your office because you're busy. You're in the house working. You're busy. They're outside detailing your vehicle. When they're done, you go outside and your car looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. Detailing is what all the auto dealers do. Detailing is what you can have done at your convenience, where and when it works for you. And as you are thinking about gifting this gifting season, On the Spot Automotive Detailing is a winner every time. I've given it a number of times as gifts. Loved it. Every single time. So take care of your vehicle. Ask them about paint protection film or window tinting. On the Spot Automotive Detailing, you can book and buy. Everything's online. OTSdetailing.com. It's OTSdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Hall Lobos in Hawaii on Saturday out in Manoa. Do that coming up in 8 minutes from now. Jeff Sandieta, JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. Grady sent an email, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Says, solid effort, college power broker interviewers of the OD and the AM. Solid effort by AD Lovo. He was energetic, knowledgeable, and seemed genuine in his desire to be here. What I also took away, and liked, by the way, is that he's another young professional family man with big-time college athletic experience. That's 2 in a row. Question the timing of his exit or not. Eddie Nunez did a lot of good here, and I think his youth, excitement, and Power 4 conference experience were keys to his success. That tells me that UNM job is respected and coveted, which might be hard for some of us New Mexicans to comprehend as the quote, poor us, we're just New Mexico, end quote, condition runs deep here. Cue my guy Edwards' explanation of cognitive dissonance. While we may have not arrived to the, quote, big time, end quote, yet, there do seem to be folks they're committed to running the athletic department as one. I couldn't be happier. Now let's hope A.D. Lovo can deliver. Now, if only the new A.D. appointed NMAA director will see the foolishness that is every state football championship being played at the same time at a location decided by events 65 years ago. On second thought, I better take what I can get with A.D. Lovo. Getting ready to overeat and log way too much couch time, Grady in Santa Fe by way of UNM. So he seems happy with the hire. Yeah, the playoff, the high school playoff thing I think would beat to death, but I'm still on the same page with that. Somebody else sent me a text. I got to just look back through it. It said, we got to get out of our New Mexico mentality. It says, he seems like a quick study and has people skills. Hopefully, there's smart people there that will help him out. We need to get out of our New Mexico mentality and grow this thing, is what it says in the text. There's a lot of truth, and that's a New Mexican who said that. I know who that person is, and that's a native New Mexican who says, get out of it. It's going to take a minute, and I think people are, like everything else, right? It's going to take a minute for somebody to warm up to somebody new, and we'll see where people are, and I think people are willing to give this guy a chance because I think there's momentum, and I think Lobo fan wants this thing to continue to grow and realizes the time and the importance of this time in college athletics.
It's really interesting how it's all come together right now because you do have momentum, but then there's also the uncertainty of coming in, and then you have to get Bronco Mendenhall and Richard Pitino on your side
100%.
And then go from there.
Yeah, 100%. Bronco Mendenhall next. Lobo football coach as we get set to play the finale of the regular season. It'll be in Manoa, Hawaii. Lobos in Hawaii win, bowl eligible. Pretty much that simple. Talk to Bronco Mendenhall next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Lobo football closes out the regular season. Not really on the road, it's like in the air, right? Across the pond, but the other pond. They're in Hawaii on Saturday night against the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. A win against Hawaii, and you are bowl eligible. Conversation with Bronco Mendenhall, sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. For 4 decades, Rudy's been helping New Mexicans through legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500. Hawaii has lost 2 in a row, but they play very, very well at the Clarence T.C. Ching Complex in Honolulu. They beat Fresno State out there. They beat Nevada out there. UCLA went out there early in the season, and it was a 16-13 game. So this is, it gets your attention. And with everything on the line, I don't know that you need your attention got. It should already be got. Bronco Mendenhall is the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. He joins us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good morning, Bronco. How you feeling?
Hey, good morning. I'm great, thanks.
How was the bye week?
Gosh, it was needed. After a significant and emotional win versus Washington State, and being this late in the season, gosh, working to get as healthy as we possibly can. We had an entire week of recruiting besides practice and early opponent preparation to get us a head start. And quite frankly, I just think emotional recovery was needed. And the what's at stake is already planned, ingrained, and emphasized. And this team is really anxious to play and prepare. Having our best chance to do that, a little extra time, I think, has ended up helping us. Is my early sense.
You mentioned recruiting. Do you feel tangible effect from a win like the Washington State win? You know, just the momentum. But I mean, having a recruiting weekend coming off of that weekend, it is tangible.
It's tangible, but it's more than that. Just that game. So most recruits and most high school coaches and most junior college coaches, and quite frankly, a lot of football families, they know the history or my history of taking programs on that hadn't been to postseason recently or had losing programs, and then in year one, and usually no later than year two, we're back to postseason. And so the game itself, Washington State, certainly had an influence, but I think even broader reaching is, hey, wait, this is happening again at another place. And it's not if it's happening, it is happening. And so the confidence and credibility and certainty of what's going to happen and what is happening in New Mexico, I think that's probably even the bigger momentum generator and takeaway that most of the recruits / families and other coaches are having.
Yeah, on that vein, if you win on Saturday, go to a bowl game, what would it mean, A, to the program, and B, to you personally, to get to a bowl game in your first year here?
It would mean everything to me for our players. they've tried so hard and been so willing and so diligent and just kept battling. And I think maybe it felt like, gosh, can this even happen? When you think back to Montana State, by the way, who's undefeated
and number one seed in the FCS playoffs. Yeah.
So you got to put that in context. But when you think about maybe, wait, can this happen in New Mexico? Can that happen this year? The reality is, and what the messaging has been, is yes, it can. What will it take? Everything we've got. And so that's what we've given coaches and players. And I think the loyal supporters of the program certainly felt that and seen that, and they're doing the same. Just another thing to celebrate for these kids, another thing to celebrate for this community, for UNM. And it's been a while. And so to have the last game, or having every game in November really matter, and to have us win these games, and prior to this year, right, November's record was 1-28. I mean, it's been a while that November's relevant, and it is. And for our players, it's just gratifying to each day we go out and practice this month, that they know there's something significant that they can do to still keep playing. And I'm encouraged by that.
Lobo football coach Bronco Mendenhall is with us on the Sports Animal this morning.
No, Coach, there's in the process, you guys had plans for everything. One of the things that you mentioned was with Devin Dampier, you wanted to kind of build up his rushing total to where he would take over more later in the season. Mm-hmm. Was that hard to stick to early in the year, or how did you see that plan playing out?
Oh, yeah. There hasn't been anything that hasn't been hard. I mean, that just is one of the things. Listen, we knew early on, right, that third and crucial and third and medium, it's very difficult to stop +1 runs, which means the quarterback running the football. Now think about the risk of Game 3, and what if Devin is hurt, right? Think about it in Game 5, Game 6, Game 4, any of those games. And so we've used restraint, we've used discipline, we've used as many other resources possible. We've built the supporting cast, we've innovated around. And with each successive game closer to the end, you've seen not only outcomes start to shift, but the percentage and the workload shift. And Devin's handled it amazingly well, but we've also executed the plan from a long-term and short-term basis in a sequential manner that's really helped not only our team, helped Devin, but helped our program.
Now, Coach, when coaches talk about players they bring in their program, they talk about wanting to have good character people, but also, of course, it's the talent and players that can play together at a high level. Your offensive line is playing at a high level, and also we saw their character about what they did this past weekend, giving out over 200 turkeys and meals to families. What does it say about that group that they're not only good on the field, but off the field?
We have really good leadership. Richard Pierce, a transfer from East Carolina and one of our captains, organized the entire thing. It took nothing from the coaching staff, nothing from football operations. He got together, and with other players that have earned NIL money, they chose to pool that money on their own, organize, contact, and give back to the community. 300 is what turkeys and fixings is what they were able to distribute. First cars arrived yesterday at 3:30 a.m. Cars were lined up the entire length of the stadium parking lot, all the way out to the access road in front of the pit, and then all the way to the stoplight as you turn south right there at the pit. And there were people walking up, pushing strollers, pushing shopping carts, driving in cars, and the gratitude expressed and the connection made was something really powerful for a grown-up and a head coach to watch, knowing I had nothing to do with it, but just seeing a group of young people, take their place as the next generation of leaders is really cool.
Richard was with us on Friday. He talked about, he said, why? Where did that come from? And he said, I just want to give back. And I said, you've been here how long? 8 months, 10 months? You're not from here. He says, no, I know, but this community since I got here has embraced me and my wife. Just an incredibly mature, thoughtful young man, and obviously he talked about there was no arm twisting of anybody to get involved. This was something that felt just like a natural no-brainer to him and to his brothers on the line.
Yeah, I found out just after the fact, and it would be like being a parent, right? When you hear a report maybe from a teacher or someone where there's a kind deed done by someone you love and care about, and it just makes you feel you're proud of them and happy for them and who they're becoming. This team has a lot of really quality kids and young people on it. One of the best parts about being a coach is I can be inspired daily as well, right? While I am tasked with sending, sharing, and teaching and giving messaging to develop young people, when you see young people actually, doing extraordinary things, grown-ups get inspired, and it helps me keep going as well when I see things like that. And so back to the point of who do we want? Yeah, we want high-character young people who are fiercely capable on the field, but also really anxious to embed and give back in the community in which they live. And that really is what college football, I think, should be.
No doubt. All right, the job isn't finished yet. You got hopefully 2 games left. You got to go out there. What do you see with Hawaii? And it looks like they're going to be with the freshman quarterback from Bishop Gorman, right? I believe Schrager's hurt, and so you're going to probably see a backup quarterback, which doesn't mean that you can relax on this. This is a team that beat Fresno State out there, beat a good Nevada team, pushed UCLA to the end. When you look at Hawaii, what do you see, and how do you win this game?
Oh, man. So Hawaii, especially in Hawaii, is a really difficult opponent. And if you think about Boise State going in the fourth quarter, it's 13-7. And it's 13-7 with the outcome hinging into the fourth quarter. And then UNLV goes and I think comes away with a 2-point victory, and that hinged in the balance right to the end.
Yep.
And so besides the teams you mentioned, going to Hawaii to play is a significant challenge. And listen, the University of Hawaii, it represents more than just the University of Hawaii, right? It's much like what I felt like at BYU, where I represented a faith. The University of Hawaii represents a really proud and strong culture. And so especially there, and there's a claim to that where there's a different energy, passion, and way that they play. Regarding the quarterback, we haven't received word that he's officially ruled out, their starter. So we have to prepare like he will be there, and he's an exceptional player. The scheme is challenging. They're a good team. And anyone that goes there battles like crazy right to the end.
Yeah.
We already know what that is. So we're expecting a game that goes down just like the rest
Just
of our
like all of them, right?
It's the last drive, and we're either trying to run out the clock and get a first down in 4 minutes, or we're knocking down a pass in the end zone, or we might be kicking a field goal or trying to block one. We're preparing for that. And to do otherwise would just be silly, because that's what it's going to take.
Yeah.
and so, it's going to take everything. We're prepared for that, want that. We'll keep that in mind and go over with that intent, and then we'll just do our best.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, we just got to meet Fernando Lobo. He was with us about an hour ago. Spoke with him a little bit at length about becoming the new athletic director. Not sure if you've got to meet him. I'm going to guess not in person. Maybe you've spoken with him. Just your thoughts, because obviously this is a huge hire for the institution.
Yeah, it is. And I have not met him. I've had one phone conversation so far. And kind of maybe before I even address that, I'd have to express gratitude to Dave Williams, our interim. He has allowed this football program and this athletic department to continue to function. He was instrumental in my hire, and he's done a lot for me personally, but also our football program. And so I'm sure it's tough for him. But the role that he's played for this whole athletic department in the meantime with the search, et cetera, has been really meaningful, and that's gotten us to this point. And so I'm excited for our new athletic director coming in, and just all that's going to entail. And how can he know truly what it is, right? There's a process of discovery. But gosh, it looks like, in my conversation, I was very impressed that all the skills that he has, the experiences that he's generated already, the passion, enthusiasm, and capability that he brings, I think could be really good for the program here. I'm talking about the athletic program as well as the institution.
Yep. Appreciate you. We'll see you out there today. Best of luck in Hawaii. Safe travels. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to your family, and appreciate it. And we'll do this again next Monday.
Okay, same. Thanks. See you later. Bye.
Bronco Mendenhall, the head football coach at the University of New Mexico. That conversation sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal care and the attention you deserve for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. Is it weird that it's just glaring in my head? How can he know what it is? That's what Bronco just said about the new AD, right? He doesn't, as much as he can prepare for it. I mean, there's going to be, like, when you walk into something like that. And that doesn't mean he can't handle it. I'm not saying that by any means. It's like any job, though. When you walk into it, you don't. There's a learning curve, and you lean on what you can lean on, your resources. 505-246-0610. You can respond to what you heard there or from Fernando Lobo. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, intoxicated. Rip, plaster, paint. Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
All right, you can respond to what you heard from Bronco. Big one at Hawaii. Look at Hawaii plays people tough out there. I know they're 4-7. They had UCLA out there. They lose by 3. They beat Northern Iowa. They had Boise State on the ropes, who ended up 28-7, but that was close late. They beat Nevada. They beat Fresno State. I mean, UNLV escapes with a 2-point win. This isn't a foregone conclusion yet, boys and girls. I know they've taken you right to the brink, and there's a lot to be excited about, but you got to go out and finish the business. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think when you look at what the Lobos have done this season, there's a confidence going into this game, and they should have it, but an understanding of nothing is going to be easy, because it's the same feeling at going to Colorado State is like, this is the time to snap the streak. Nope. Wyoming, double-digit lead. All right, we've been here before. Lost that game. Then you come back and you have the Washington State game. So it is all over the place, and this team understands that they're not going to walk into any venue right now and just roll.
505-246-0610. Travis, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Travis.
Good morning, fellas.
What's happening?
Listen, another day ending in Y, and another day that the OD and the AM is killing it in the interview space with your guests. I mean, there's no question that the OD is the best sports talk show in the region, in the country for my money. But the content that you guys continue to deliver is incredible. I mean, that interview with, we'll call him Mr. Lobo, even though his last name is Lobo. Listen, I feel so good about that hire and his experience. Look, obviously there's going to be some on-the-job learning there, but UNM is about to embark on a couple of years of some unsteady times in terms of conference realignment stuff and what's going on in the broader picture of college athletics. And I really feel good about having that man, based on that interview and also his big-time college athletics experience, at the helm of our program as we deal with conference realignment and everything that is going to happen. Feel really good about that. And a part of that is the fact that we have some really good pieces here that make us a strong program, and that certainly includes Richard Pitino, who is doing a great job as head of men's basketball. But obviously, we have some concerns about his success. Someone's going to poach him, but we have to feel really good about where we're at on the college football front, which, as we've talked about over and over again, and you guys, you and JJ, cannot remind, Lobo sports fans enough. Everything rises and falls with college football. Despite our success on the hard court, right? It's going to start and end with college football. And there's just no doubt that we have the right guy at the helm of our football program. There's no question that he has stamped this team and imparted his culture, and I'm not just talking from the X and O's perspective. I'm talking about service before self, and we saw that over the weekend. Athletes reaching into their own pocket to support and contribute to our community. There's no question that is because of the high character guys that Bronco has brought into our program, and that's also because of, the culture that Bronco is building. And let me say finally, look, I don't know how all this is going to end. I don't know whether or not we're going to beat Hawaii. I got to tell you, I feel really good about going into that game because it doesn't matter what the score is. You can never count this team out. It doesn't matter what lead you go into halftime. This Lobo team does not quit, and they believe that they can win this game and win it in commanding fashion. But regardless of what the score is on the scoreboard at the end of the game, this weekend, this season has been an unprecedented success, historical success for any first-year head coach in Lobo football history. And so no matter what happens at the end of the season has been a remarkable success, and I feel really confident about the future of Lobo Athletics. I think it's bright. I think we have the right people in place, and the AD hire could not have come at the right time. I'm so excited. Thanks, guys.
Later. First of all, thanks for the accolades off the top. That's the excitement I think UNM was hoping for with this, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know. Do you win the press conference with this? Do you? I don't know, but you got to do more than win the press conference, right?
Of course. You want a good first impression. I think that Lobo fans will hear that over the next couple of days, and then it's going to be what happens a few months from now, a year from now. You start seeing the things that have to stay in place from the coaches to what you get from the state versus what you're able to do with the big-time donors, keep them happy, get them involved. Yeah, it's, of course, to be determined. You tip your cap, say, all right, you have this experience. Now, how does it translate?
Yeah. Yep, and we'll see. We'll watch it as it goes through. Mud asked, are there any of the sports bars having a watch party for Lobos versus Hawaii Saturday? What the hell is Spectrum Sports Channel? Elaborate. So I just did text Frank. He's going to have info on how you can watch the game here. He said soon. But it's the Hawaii. So they've got their own deal. Basically, they get to keep their own TV rights, and it's not part of the Mountain West deal unless X Games are picked up or whatever. How are you going to be? I don't have the answers yet. It's Monday. You get it on Saturday. I know you got a plan. Is there something you may have to buy? It might be. I don't know the answer. Do you yet? All right. Frank said he's working on that, but yeah, it's a big one, man. And I know on Saturday night the game means a lot, and you got so much riding on it. And people have been telling me all year it's going to come down to a late game that nobody can see on. It might. Yeah, you might be on the radio listening to Robert, and you're on this trip, right?
Yes, I am.
So you're going to be listening to It might be JJ Buck for all I know. Are you calling the game? You might be play-by-play guy on this.
That's not going to happen.
That's not the plan.
Like in case of emergency.
That's plan B, right?
Break glass.
I hope you are, because it's fun as hell. I hope Rob makes it. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anything to happen to his travel. Because Rob's going to be in Palm Springs doing basketball on Thursday and Friday. He's taking a red eye, an early morning flight.
Yeah, short jaunt.
Yeah, 5 hours. Yeah, from LAX over there. All right, when we get back, you want winners and losers from this weekend?
Sounds good.
Kind of where we do that. I'm struggling on a couple of them, but it's not as easy for me this week. But we'll give you biggest winners and losers of the NFL weekend. And look, a lot of content today. You can get in on any of it that you've heard. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Dirty Boys present Fill in the Holes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
Man, what a weekend, huh? I thought college football was just bonkers good on Saturday. The NFL was good yesterday. It wasn't like the quantity. The end of that Cowboys game was as crazy as it gets. The Bears-Vikings game was insane. That was the Vikings were trending towards being the biggest loser of the weekend, by the way. But they're not, and I can't make them the biggest winner. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. I got biggest winners and losers of the weekend. J.J., you want losers or winners?
You know what? Let's start out with those big old L's.
Okay. Honorable mention, biggest loser of the weekend. San Francisco, but they fall out of the top three because what the hell do you expect, right? Brandon Allen's their quarterback. Trent Williams is out. McCaffrey's hurt. Debo's hurt. I mean, it's just what'd you expect? So I left them out. Number three, biggest loser of the weekend was the Rams, because it was an opportunity to state their claim about who they are, and they claim that they are a contender, and they're not. And the way they let Saquon Barkley abuse them. They like to say, whose house? Rams' house. No. That was Casa de Saquon. That was Saquon Barkley's house. And he ran up and down and sideways. He set a personal high. 302 yards from scrimmage. He broke the franchise record for rushing yards in a game, where 255. And the Rams couldn't do anything. They threw the ball to Puka Nacua a lot. But other than that, so Rams are number three. The other two are so damn easy to me. Number two biggest loser is Houston. And to lose to a Tennessee team that finds ways to lose, they lose 32-27. This is a team that you're telling me is supposed to be really good, that has now lost 4 of their last 6. And it's not like they're losing to the great teams. Oh, yeah, there was a loss in there to the Lions. And I'll even give you the Packers. But you can't be losing to the Jets and the Titans if you are claiming to be who you are. C.J. Stroud feels like there's a little sophomore slump, and Will Levis went in there and absorbed 7 sacks in the first half and won. And C.J. Stroud stepped out of the back of the end zone. He threw a couple of touchdown passes for the first time since October 13th, but he threw multiple interceptions for the second time in 3 weeks. 4 sacks, 40 yards rushing. It's a bad loss for Houston. That's number 2. Number 1 is so blatantly easy. Washington. What the hell? You got a Dallas team with Cooper Rush in your place in a rivalry game, a get-well game. You've lost 2 in a row. All right, fine. You lost to the Steelers and the Eagles, but here comes a stumbling Cowboys team, and you barf on yourself like that? I mean, really? Cowboys enter the game done. And then you give up that Kevontae Turpin 99-yard touchdown. It looked like you're going to pull it out. Jaden Daniels, 25 of 38, 275, 2 interceptions. He's got to take care of the ball. And then your damn kicker, who choked back tears after the game. Kickers. You come all the way back. You find Terry McLaurin, and your kicker misses the extra point. By far the worst loss of the weekend. You got a problem with any of that?
No. Those are the most glaring losers of the weekend.
All right, winners. I was struggling to find a number 3. I really was. Just because of quantity. I mean, a lot of these wins were, like a lot of the wins were okay. Lions were supposed to win. Dolphins beat a bad team. Buccaneers beat the hell out of a bad team. Chiefs escaped. I'm like, where are you going? So I looked at Minnesota and I said, was that a good win? I'll give them honorable mention for winning in overtime after blowing a huge lead in the last few seconds, but I can't. JJ, I'm gonna go with number 3 with your Denver Broncos to win again, to go on the road and just take care of business and solidify a spot in the playoffs where they are right now. Bo Nix continues to get better. They find, while they don't run the ball well, they find guys. You said this earlier. What they found in Vele is really impressive. Bo Nix threw for 273 and didn't turn the ball over. Their defense held Vegas to 69 yards rushing. Number 3 is the Broncos. Number 2, and this is the only place I'll double up on you, but is Philly, because I think they made a statement. I think Philly went across the country and made a statement. They beat a good, not really good, but beat a good team on the road and beat the hell out of them. And went into the Rams' house, and they looked like defensively they were terrific. To win convincingly, 37-20, the Rams scored in the last seconds. So it was really even more convincing than that. Philly made a statement to me yesterday. And then the number 1 biggest win of the week, I thought, was Seattle. To move into first place into the NFC West, to get a win over a tough team. They played really well defensively, nothing tremendous offensively, but I thought they frustrated Kyler Murray. They turned him over. They had the pick 6. Seattle, to me, to move into first place in the NFC West was the biggest win of the week.
I do like it. It was tougher with the amount of bye weeks that we had to find the impactful games. I think the team I might slide in there. Honorable mention, maybe top 3, just based on kind of the way you're talking about Denver, would be Miami.
Yeah. Okay. They beat a bad team, but yeah. And they beat the hell out of them. Yeah, so did Denver. No, fair enough. But Denver solidified their playoff spot. Miami kind of, I guess, stayed in somewhat conversation. But okay.
Yeah. Miami
I'm not mad at you.
Scoring 30 points per game with Tua back, has the manageable schedule until the final 2 weeks.
Right. Okay. All right. Tua threw for 317 yards and 4 touchdowns yesterday. 4. When they're healthy, and who knew Jalen Waddle was still there?
Yeah. Jonnu Smith, 3 touchdowns past 2 games. Tight end is involved now.
Mm-hmm. No, and they ran the ball a little bit.
They'll need to run the football better late in the season.
What they did is shut down the run for New England, which I thought was Drake May had been coming, and they kind of shut them down a little bit, and they were really good defensively. No, I'm okay with that. I got no problem with Miami. So that's what I got. Biggest winners and biggest losers of the weekend in the NFL. 505-246-0610. We haven't hit this, and this story came out on Saturday. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets didn't play this week. It's over there, isn't it? I mean, he's worn out his welcome. The report that CBS had out this week that Aaron Rodgers has resisted getting scans because he didn't want to know how bad his injuries are. NFL media is saying that he's dealing with a hamstring and a knee and an ankle, and that's what's impacting his performance, and that he's resisting getting scans done to avoid discovering the severity of those injuries, that he's adamant about remaining on the field, knowing just how serious his injuries are, and they could be forced to the sidelines, that they're trying to find a way out, that he wants out. Like, he went in there, that place was wrecked to begin with in some respects. Like, they weren't really good, right? They were Zach Wilson, there was a bunch of talent, but he went and blew that thing to shreds, didn't he? He got everybody fired. No, he did.
He did. Saleh, you're gone. General manager, he gone.
All right. I mean, he went in there and just took TNT and ignited. I mean, not that they was the most solid franchise anyway. Let's be very, very honest. But he went in there and has just torched the Jets.
It was a franchise made of straw, and all he had to do was huff and puff.
And blew it all the house down. Yeah. Yeah. Like he said, his knee was a little swollen, his hamstring's significant, but he wants to play. Low ankle injury. I don't even know. Is it Tyrod Taylor? Does it matter? Well, like, if you're them, what do you do? How do you find a way out of this unless he decides I want out too? Like, you guys are
the way out is in the offseason, who has the power? Is it still Aaron Rodgers, and does he,
or is it Woody Johnson,
want to hang around? Is Woody Johnson an Aaron Rodgers guy?
Because, well, at this point, I don't think anybody's an Aaron Rodgers guy in that organization.
Don't know, because everything that Woody Johnson has said yes to has been in favor of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but now he's starting to figure it out. And by the way, this comes down on Aaron Rodgers. Right? He got everything he ever wanted. He picked his offensive coordinator. He got his buddies over there, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams. He got everything he wanted. Now, I'm not going to blame the guy for getting hurt. But he has blown that thing to shreds. And they're horrible. They're a mess. Where do you go? And are they, when you start looking at who's going to get the first round pick, the first overall pick, I have no idea at this point. I don't know who's tanking. Carolina looks better. I think if you ask me who I think the worst team in the NFL is now, I'd probably tell you the Giants. But I think it's a weekly conversation, and it's a moving scale of who's the worst team in the National Football League. 4 weeks ago, you'd have told me Carolina. Last week, you might have even told me the Cowboys. I think when we started the season, you'd have told me New England, right? This thing, it's just a sliding scale. Jacksonville, gosh, could they be in there too? But right now, the number one overall pick is either the Giants or Jacksonville. They're both 2-9. New England, and the Raiders, I mean, I don't know. JJ, who's the worst team in the NFL right now? Giants, Raiders, Jacksonville? It's not Carolina anymore, is it?
They're playing with pulse. I think the first three you said are in contention, especially with the injuries at the quarterback position or the change at the quarterback position. It's like the Giants aren't good with Daniel Jones, but then you see, like, you go to Tommy DeVito, that's all you're doing. You're not giving yourself a chance. You're just saying we don't want to have to pay Daniel Jones more money next year.
I think of Baker doing the Tommy DeVito when he got to the end zone.
It's perfect Baker Mayfield.
It was so good. It was so good.
4 rushing touchdowns for the Bucs. That was one of them.
Yeah, by 4 different dudes, which is crazy. Tommy DeVito, 21 to 31, $189.
The spark you provided is Malik Neighbors postgame said, ask Stable why I didn't have a catch in the first half. That's what he's created.
Is that what he said?
In the Giants locker.
Ask the coach why I didn't
Malik
have a catch?
Neighbors just like, yeah, talk to the coach. Well, I didn't have a reception.
So your first round pick's miserable now, too.
Team captain's like, well, yeah, we're struggling, but Daniel Jones is still the best option. Bench. Okay.
I mean, football in New York, dude.
Drew Lock's just sitting there going,
yeah.
Hey, guys.
I'm making $5 million. That's right. An extra $5 million for me. Hi, guys. 505-246-0610. We'll wrap you up. Still have time for you. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports. Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
You want to catch, it's there for you over on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive, and it is all there. Fernando Lobo, the new UNM athletic director, was with us at 8 o'clock this morning. An extensive conversation with him I think you'll enjoy. And, of course, Bronco Mendenhall was with us at 8 o'clock. There at 9 o'clock, the Lobo football coach getting set for the big game at Hawaii. So it's all there for you. What do you got to know as you go through your day? Crazy weekend in football. Cowboys beat Washington 38-26. Broncos win again, 29-19 over the Raiders. Lobo basketball last night in the pit beat Texas Southern 99-68. The ladies yesterday got beat in the pit by Gonzaga 81-68. That was closer than the score indicates, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. Caller earlier talked about the shooting. It had nothing to do with the shooting. This team has to figure out how to rebound against good teams. They were out-rebounded 46-28. Gonzaga had 16 offensive rebounds, 14 second chance points. And it was kind of the same thing that happened against Texas Tech. Lobos defended well. They held Texas Tech 39% from the field, but they got out-rebounded in that game, lost the second chance battle by 9 points, and that's the difference. You know, they're defending, but they're not finishing the possessions, and that was big in that fourth quarter run where it was a 4-point game. About midway through the fourth quarter, you know, the Zags just started eating up the offensive rebound, second chance points, hit a couple threes late in the shot clock as well from players that the team wanted to take threes. That's a game plan. Hey, let this person shoot, and they did and hit it. And then you saw, I talked about it all week, one of the best performances you're going to see. Like, Yvonne Ejim could be the best player this team plays all season long. 26, 17, and 8. That's a monster game.
It's huge. What's next?
It's UC Irvine Wednesday night, and all UC Irvine did last year was actually play Gonzaga in the first round of the NCAA tournament, returned 4 starters from that team in contention to win the Big West, and here you go.
Okay, next
big-time home schedule, but
it's big.
The Lobos knew how tough it was, but you know the players, you can tell that they're hungry for that headline moment.
All right, Lobo men will be in Palm Springs Thursday and Friday. They get Arizona State on Thursday, and then either USC or St. Mary's on St. Mary's or Santa Clara. St. Mary's, right?
Yes, St. Mary's
on Friday. Aggie football over the weekend winners in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 36-21. New Mexico State beat Middle Tennessee. They'll close the season out on Saturday. They get UTEP down at Aggie Memorial Stadium, and in the big rivalry game I-10. Find it because I think you'll enjoy it. There's a video out. So Cal and Stanford played this week, and that's the big game, or the game as they call it. Cal beat Stanford 24-21. It was the 131st time those two teams had played. ACC battle, longtime rivals. Cal came back. They were trailing by 14 with less than a minute left in the third quarter. Their fans were happy. They stormed the field. There is a video out of some guy going over to the Cal bench during the storming of the field and stealing a helmet. And you got to clock the 40 time on the equipment manager for Cal. He's standing off to the side, probably about 10 yards away, sees the guy, takes off and tackles the dude. And to get the helmet back, tackled the guy, took him out, pushed him, got his helmet back, dude. Just great pursuit. The fan fumbled the helmet. It was recovered by someone else from the Cal support staff who was kind of following up. But let this serve as a warning. Never try this if you might be messing with the wrong equipment manager. That dude's got
those equipment
skills.
Folks.
Yeah, they don't play, dude.
Any program.
Yeah,
you don't mess with them.
No,
they do a lot of hard work, and when their moment comes, they're going to be ready.
Dude, find the video. It's classic. Dude just tracks him down and dropped him, and it was perfect, just as it's supposed to be. All right, Tonight you get Monday Night Football, and wow, we haven't even got into this yet. Right here on these Sports Animal, you get the Harbaugh. Yeah, the Harbros and the Harbaugh. Any Harbaugh little cute quips you got? Harbaugh.
Who has it better than us?
Nobody. Chargers, Ravens. It's in Los Angeles. Look, there's a big over/under. You think of Ravens, you think of really good defense. That's not the case this year. In fact, the over/under on this game is, I want to say 51, if I'm not mistaken. 51.5. It's 50.5. Ravens are favored by 2.5. Good one tonight. You listen to it here on the Sports Animal, your home for the National Football League. And I mean, it's yummy tonight.
Well, it's flipped. The Chargers are the team with the defense, leaning on the rushing attack. Ravens, explosive offense. And we'll see two down the stretch working in Deontay Johnson, the tight end combination, Derrick Henry's crazy season. And if the Chargers can create some big plays against this defense.
Hey, is it possible, and you tell me, because I think it is, that two running backs can be the leading candidates for MVP in this league?
Yes. Is there going to be fatigue with Lamar Jackson? Absolutely. Anytime someone wins 2 MVPs after that, you're like, well, is this dude really that good? Or
especially because he doesn't get to the Super Bowl.
Are we're not paying attention to the players? And with what Saquon Barkley is doing this season, I think he's edged ahead of Derrick Henry, but let's have him in the conversation. Because numbers-wise, the quarterbacks that are having wow seasons, I think people can. Lamar Jackson, fatigue, Joe Burrow, not on a winning team. You look at Jared Goff, and he's been really good, but then there's some games where he can have Sonic and Knuckles take over, so he's just playing point guard.
So good. All right, Thanksgiving, when you're driving around, you're going from dinner to dinner. You're going from your house to the in-laws, or your mom's house to your dad's house, or the bar to the other bar, wherever it is you're going. We got you covered. Thanksgiving Day, Bears and Lions here on the Sports Animal, 10 o'clock in the morning. Giants and Cowboys right after that. Dolphins and Packers right after that. If you're out late in the evening, 9 o'clock over on News Radio KKOB, you will get Lobos and Arizona State basketball. And then we got Raiders and Chiefs here and on KTBL on Friday. Man, I guess a lot of football. Never too much, though, is there?
Football!
Football is football. Did you know that? Mike Bobo told me that. I didn't know that. And then Mike Bobo told me football is football. He's the offensive coordinator at Georgia.
Changed my life.
Thank you to Fernando Lovo, the new athletic director at UNM. He was with us today. Bronco Mendenhall was with us as well. Those conversations are available over on our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Click on the opening drive. Great job, Adrian. Happy Monday on the 3-day week. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Hey, be good to each other, please. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you then.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered,